It's a very impressive example of how an application can streamline and automate tasks that beforehand you may not have even recognized as being chores in your life. And then once you see it, you're like, oh wow, yeah, with this I could maybe do something that I before I would have thought about it in terms of, oh, I got to take this and this and this. Now it's like I can hit the ground running and get working on what I care about much more quickly. So let's check them out. Take it away.
Hey everybody, my name is Mitch, this is Dan, Alex, and Evans, and we're here to talk to you about our project, Boilerplate Pro. Now, the problem that we wanted to address was oftentimes when starting a project, it's really easy to get bogged down with all the configuration and setup. Sometimes you lose the motivation to even get started. This is a problem that exists across all industries, and it's no different for developers. Now, as developers, we do have a lot of great resources out there. There are wonderful boilerplates that we can use to help get started with our projects, but sometimes finding the perfect one can be a little bit overwhelming. So what we wanted to do was organize all these resources in one succinct package. With Boilerplate Pro, you can find your perfect boilerplate, integrate it with the necessary services for your project, and deploy all within a few clicks. How does it work? We'll jump over to Dan to walk us through our user experience.
Thanks, Mitch. Always a pleasure. Okay, let's pretend I'm a developer named Mitch starting a hackathon project. I can sign in with GitHub and see a list of projects or boilerplates to use. I could choose one here, or I could search for one because I know I want to use Electron and React. So I'm going to pick one, and let's look at the README here and see if it's something interesting that I could use for my project. And yeah, this looks great. So I'm going to go up top, give it a name, and once I've given it a name, I can click Start Hyperclone, and this will be polling it, creating a new repo for me, and pushing that to the newly created repo. And once it's cloned, I just want to go to my GitHub and make sure it's actually created. And indeed it is. Here's my GitHub with the newly created repo. And I know I want to use Travis for continuous integration, so I can click on that. And I know I want to use Heroku to deploy it. Now, I know not all boilerplates are immediately deployable, but for ones that are, this Heroku button will work. And it looks like we're about done. So I'm going to hand it over to Alex to figure out what's going on behind the scenes.
Thanks, Dan. To make all of this work, Boilerplate Pro needs to make a variety of API requests to services like GitHub to create the new repo and populate it with the template files, Travis for continuous integration, and Heroku for deployment. As a team, we also decided to build our application with Firebase. Their NoSQL Firestore was the perfect, scalable, and highly flexible platform to store all of our data. More importantly than that, though, it gave us the ability to keep our users up to date in real time as we built their new projects. Now, there were some problems with Firestore, though. It wasn't exactly well suited for full-text search. So we indexed the entire database through Algolia, and now we can proudly say that we offer full search across not only the title and description of all the boilerplates, but also the full text of the README, and most importantly, the list of dependencies, so that you can find the perfect boilerplate with exactly the right technologies you do want, and none of the ones you don't want. To talk more about what's happening on the server, we have Evans.
Thank you, Alex. It's always a pleasure. Boilerplate Pro's backend serves to address two problems we encountered. The first problem is both searching through thousands of boilerplates and their dependencies, which wouldn't be possible live every single time using just GitHub's API. This requires a custom solution that runs on a schedule of every 48 hours, searching, parsing, and caching the boilerplates, their dependencies, as well as other information that might be useful for those boilerplates. The second area where we found it very useful to have a backend was improving user workflow by having a tool that would run over a previous set of manual tasks. We called this tool Hyperclone. Hyperclone really has the simplicity of forking on GitHub, but has all what you would expect with cloning, which you would do normally on your Git line in your commands. We want to thank everyone for watching this presentation. We hope you start your next boilerplate project with boilerplate.pro.
All right, if you're a developer and you also struggle with choosing your boilerplates, remember you can vote for the team by clicking on the like button and
oh, okay.
This one right here. That's cool. It's so meta. It's like, I'm like, too meta.
Too meta, yeah. No, I really like it. I think that it's a very real a real problem solved that they solve for themselves, and also actually a ton of other developers. I think it's not, boilerplates are not just useful for saving time, but also because if you're not used to using a certain set of technologies together, you may not know the best practices at the time, and this really gives you a head start. And so I can see it being used as a way to learn, and also a way as a way to save time.
Yeah, and I'm looking at it right now. It looks really useful with exactly what I want to know. Stars, what technologies they're using, and I can filter by different things. So I can see this, adding value right away to the community.
Yeah.
Awesome. Nice work, Boilerplate Pros.